Understanding a man's true character is essential, especially in a world where appearances can be misleading and words often don't match actions. It's easy to get caught up in the surface-level traits, how someone looks, what they say, or how they present themselves in public. But the real test lies deeper. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus believed that true strength comes from within, from one's inner character, not from fleeting emotions or external factors. So, how do you peel back the layers and see the essence of a man? In this video, we'll explore 5 key things to watch for that reveal a man's true nature. These insights will empower you to look beyond the surface and understand what truly defines him. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know your thoughts and what traits you look for when judging character. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: How he handles adversity. When it comes to understanding a man's true character, few things reveal more than how he handles adversity. Life is full of unexpected challenges, obstacles, and setbacks, whether in personal relationships, work, or other aspects of life. When faced with hardship, does he crumble, give up, or lash out? Or does he rise, adapt, and find a way through the storm? This reaction says a great deal about his inner strength and resilience. The Stoics believed that adversity is not something to avoid or fear, but an opportunity to grow and prove one's strength of character. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This teaching reminds us that obstacles are not just challenges to overcome, but opportunities to move forward, learn, and develop. A man's response to difficulty is a powerful indicator of his character. Is he someone who accepts life's challenges with grace and resilience, or does he let adversity consume him? For example, when faced with a difficult situation, does he remain calm and collected, focusing on finding solutions, or does he become overwhelmed and complain about how unfair things are? A man who is quick to make excuses or shift blame rather than taking responsibility for his actions is not demonstrating the strength of character that is valued in Stoic philosophy. True strength lies not in avoiding hardship, but in confronting it head-on, maintaining clarity, and taking purposeful action to overcome it. The Stoic mindset teaches us that every difficulty presents an opportunity for growth. Rather than viewing challenges as something to dread or resist, a Stoic embraces them as a natural part of life. By facing these obstacles, we can develop patience, courage, and wisdom. When a man responds to adversity with composure, thoughtfulness, and a problem-solving attitude, it reflects a deep understanding that life's difficulties are often the greatest teachers. A man who approaches tough situations with a clear mind, refusing to be rattled by external circumstances, is demonstrating a level of emotional maturity that speaks volumes about his character. Moreover, it's essential to note that resilience is not about simply enduring hardships, but learning from them and growing stronger. A man who learns from failure, adapts, and makes necessary changes shows that he is emotionally intelligent and committed to his personal development. He doesn't shy away from discomfort, but instead uses it as fuel to improve and rise above. For instance, if he experiences a failure at work or a conflict in a relationship, does he immediately look for ways to improve himself and the situation, or does he dwell in frustration and blame others? When adversity strikes, observe how he handles it. Does he throw in the towel, or does he get back up, dust himself off, and keep moving forward? A man's true character isn't built in moments of ease, but in times of struggle. His ability to face challenges with resilience without falling into negativity reveals the strength of his character. This is the man who won't run away from problems, but instead confronts them, learns from them, and becomes better because of them. In summary, the way a man handles adversity is one of the clearest windows into his true character. A man who remains calm under pressure, looks for solutions instead of complaining, and embraces challenges as opportunities for growth demonstrates inner strength, resilience, and wisdom. These are the qualities that reveal the depth of his character, qualities that cannot be hidden for long. Pay attention to how he reacts when life gets tough. It will tell you more about him than anything else. Chapter 2. His ability to take responsibility. One of the most crucial indicators of a man's true character is his ability to take responsibility for his actions. When things go wrong or mistakes are made, does he own up to them, or does he deflect, shift blame, or make excuses? A man who can acknowledge his mistakes without hesitation shows emotional maturity and integrity. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This mindset is key in understanding a man's character because it reveals his level of accountability, self-awareness, and commitment to personal growth. Taking responsibility isn't just about admitting when you're wrong. It's about actively owning the impact of your decisions, whether positive or negative. In any relationship, be it personal, professional, or social, a man who is able to take responsibility for his actions creates a foundation of trust and respect. This is crucial for building meaningful connections and establishing credibility. For example, when he makes a mistake, does he take the initiative to apologize, fix the issue, or learn from it? Or does he ignore the situation, blame someone else, or make excuses to protect his image? A man who owns his mistakes is a man who demonstrates emotional strength and honesty, qualities that are highly valued in any partner, friend, or colleague. On the other hand, a man who constantly avoids responsibility shows a lack of maturity. He may avoid facing the consequences of his actions, deflect blame onto others, or hide behind excuses. This behavior reveals a fragile ego that is unwilling to confront the reality of one's own faults or shortcomings. It can create unnecessary tension in relationships, as people around him will begin to lose trust in his word and his actions. No one wants to be in a relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, with someone who refuses to take responsibility. It feels disingenuous, and over time it can erode respect and undermine any connection that might have been built. Taking responsibility also signals a growth mindset. A man who can admit when he's wrong is open to learning, evolving, and improving. He doesn't see mistakes as failures, but as opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that wisdom comes not just from experiencing life's challenges, but from learning how to navigate them with awareness and reflection. A man who can look at a mistake, acknowledge it, and then take the necessary steps to correct it or make amends, is someone who is self-aware and committed to personal development. This quality signals emotional intelligence and resilience, showing that he is capable of adapting and becoming better over time. When he steps up and admits fault, he doesn't shy away from the discomfort of vulnerability. Instead, he sees it as part of being honest and authentic. And this ability to show vulnerability without fear of judgment speaks volumes about a man's character. It's an indication that he's secure in himself and his values and isn't afraid to face uncomfortable truths in order to grow. In relationships especially, taking responsibility is a cornerstone of trust. When a man can admit to his faults, apologize sincerely, and make efforts to do better, it creates a deeper sense of respect and connection. His ability to take responsibility not only strengthens his own character, but also strengthens the bond he shares with others. Trust, once broken, can be difficult to rebuild. but a man who consistently owns his actions demonstrates that he values integrity above all else. In summary, how a man handles his mistakes says a lot about his character. A man who can take responsibility shows accountability, maturity, and self-awareness. He's a man of integrity, one who values trust and growth. Conversely, a man who avoids responsibility or blames others reveals weaknesses in his character, weaknesses that can undermine any relationship. Pay attention to how he handles his mistakes. His ability to admit fault and learn from it will tell you everything you need to know about the strength of his character. Chapter 3. How he treats others in difficult situations. A man's true character is often revealed in how he treats others, particularly in difficult or stressful situations. In life, things don't always go as planned. There are moments of frustration, moments when he's under pressure, and moments when things seem to be falling apart. How does he behave during these times? Does he lash out, become dismissive, or act out of anger? Or does he maintain his composure and show respect, even to those who may not be able to offer anything in return? This is one of the clearest indicators of a man's inner strength and integrity. The Stoic philosophers, especially Marcus Aurelius, emphasize the importance of treating others with kindness and respect, regardless of the situation. Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," reminding us that our internal state has the power to shape how we treat the external world. In moments of stress or adversity, a man's ability to remain gracious and empathetic speaks volumes about his character. If a man is genuinely strong, his character won't shift when the going gets tough. Instead, he will show a level of grace under pressure that reflects his core values. One of the most revealing moments is when he's interacting with people who cannot offer him anything in return, such as servers, employees, or strangers. Does he treat them with respect, or does he become condescending, rude, or dismissive? A man who can maintain courtesy and kindness, even in difficult situations, shows that his respect for others is not contingent on what he can gain from them. It is a sign of self-control and a deep sense of empathy. The Stoics believed that we should strive to maintain our composure and virtues in all situations, even those where it feels like the world is working against us. In his writings, Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life's challenges, whether personal setbacks, criticisms, or conflicts, are not to be met with frustration or anger, but with rationality and composure. He believed that the way we treat others, especially when under duress, is a reflection of our inner character. A man who can stay calm and composed in these situations shows that his happiness and sense of worth are not dependent on external factors or fleeting emotions. The key takeaway here is empathy and respect. A man who can remain empathetic and considerate, even when he is frustrated or stressed, demonstrates emotional intelligence. This quality is critical in any relationship, whether personal or professional. Women, in particular, notice when a man is gracious, kind, and respectful towards others, regardless of their status or relationship to him. It speaks to his integrity and emotional maturity. If he's able to treat others with dignity during difficult times, it indicates a strong, grounded character that values the well-being of others, even when things aren't going his way. Furthermore, a man who is quick to anger or who lashes out when things don't go his way may be revealing a lack of self-control, emotional maturity, and respect for others. Such behavior often reflects an inability to manage internal frustrations and an unwillingness to see beyond his own immediate desires or discomforts. This can be a major red flag in relationships, as it suggests a potential for volatility and inconsistency, which can lead to emotional instability. Ultimately, how a man treats others in difficult situations reflects both his self-awareness and his level of emotional intelligence. True strength isn't about controlling the people around him or demanding that things go his way. It's about maintaining respect, compassion, and grace when external circumstances challenge him. A man who remains dignified under pressure reveals that he values his own integrity and holds others in high regard. This is the kind of man who will build trust, nurture relationships, and inspire admiration. His true character shines brightest when it's tested by adversity, when the pressure is on, and the world is watching. So pay close attention to how he treats those who can't offer him anything in return. That will tell you more about his real nature than anything else. Chapter 4. His reaction to criticism. Criticism is an inevitable part of life. Whether it comes from a friend, a colleague, or a partner, everyone faces it at some point. But what truly matters is not the criticism itself, but how a man reacts to it. A man's reaction can reveal a great deal about his character, emotional maturity, and self-awareness. Does he become defensive and try to shift the blame, or does he listen, process the feedback, and seek to improve? The way he handles criticism is often a reflection of how secure he feels about himself and his ability to grow. The Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes self-reflection and emotional control, offers valuable insights into how one should approach criticism. Epictetus, a key Stoic thinker, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This statement underscores the Stoic belief that while we cannot always control external events, we have full control over how we respond to them. For a man, this means recognizing that criticism is not an attack on his worth as a person, but an opportunity for self-improvement. When a man reacts defensively or with anger when criticized, it typically signals a fragile ego or insecurity. A defensive response often stems from an inability to accept imperfection or vulnerability. A man who immediately denies or dismisses criticism, or worse, turns it into an argument, shows that he is more focused on protecting his image than on growing from the feedback. This reaction reveals an emotional immaturity and a lack of resilience. Instead of reflecting on the criticism and using it as a tool to improve, he deflects it, which prevents him from learning and evolving. On the other hand, a man who listens to criticism objectively, without becoming defensive or hostile, demonstrates emotional maturity and wisdom. This response shows that he has the capacity for self-reflection and is open to growth. He doesn't take criticism personally, but instead views it as an opportunity to improve. He might feel discomfort, as most people do when faced with negative feedback, but rather than allowing his emotions to dictate his reaction, he remains calm and thoughtful. He uses the feedback to assess his actions, identify areas for growth, and make adjustments as necessary. This approach shows that he values progress over pride and is focused on becoming a better version of himself. The Stoic practice of self-awareness and emotional discipline is key in handling criticism gracefully. A Stoic man understands that he cannot control the opinions or actions of others, but he can control his own reactions. By embracing feedback, whether it's positive or negative, and choosing to learn from it, he demonstrates both wisdom and resilience. His ability to accept constructive criticism without becoming defensive not only showcases his strength of character, but also signals his willingness to evolve. In relationships, a man's ability to handle criticism well is crucial. It fosters trust, respect, and a sense of security, as those around him know he can accept feedback without hostility or defensiveness. It creates an environment where open communication can thrive, as he shows that he is willing to listen and grow. Ultimately, the way a man reacts to criticism speaks volumes about his emotional intelligence and his commitment to personal growth. A man who handles criticism with grace, reflection, and maturity is a man who is continually working to better himself, and that is a key indicator of true strength and character. Chapter 5. His consistency over time. A man's true character is often revealed through his consistency, and this is perhaps one of the most telling indicators of his integrity. It's easy for anyone to act with integrity when they're under the spotlight or when there's something to gain. However, the true test of a person's character is how they behave when no one is watching, when there's no immediate reward, and when the external validation is absent. A man who acts in accordance with his values consistently, regardless of the circumstances, demonstrates deep self-discipline and a steadfast commitment to his principles. As Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet profound piece of advice speaks to the Stoic philosophy that true character isn't about occasional acts of virtue. It's about cultivating a mindset and lifestyle of integrity that endures over time. Consistency is the cornerstone of trust. A man who demonstrates consistency in his actions, words, and behavior over the long term is someone who can be relied upon. His integrity isn't something that fades with the wind or shifts with the changing tides of life. Instead, it's solid, dependable, and unwavering. This quality is deeply valued, not only because it shows moral strength, but because it provides a sense of security in relationships, both personal and professional. A person who lives by his values every day, regardless of the context, signals that he is someone with strong convictions and a deep understanding of his principles. What matters here is not just the occasional display of good behavior or the rare moments when he goes out of his way to do something right. It's about the everyday consistency of his actions, even in situations where there's no immediate payoff or recognition. Is he dependable when it matters most? Does he follow through on his promises, no matter how big or small? Does he do what he says he will do even when there are no external rewards or applause? A man who can be counted on to uphold his commitments and remain true to his word in the long term shows a level of reliability and trustworthiness that can be rare and deeply valued in any relationship. In a world where many people are driven by short-term desires or instant gratification, a man who remains consistent in his principles and actions stands out. His ability to stay grounded in his values, even when it's difficult or when no one is looking, reveals a deep inner strength and a profound sense of responsibility. This is what makes consistency such a powerful sign of true character. It's the ability to align one's actions with one's values without being swayed by external factors. A man who remains steadfast in his commitments, even when the external rewards are absent, demonstrates a resilience and a moral clarity that are invaluable traits. Moreover, consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up, again and again, in alignment with one's values. A man who strives to live by his principles, who acknowledges his mistakes and learns from them, and who seeks to improve over time, shows a commitment to personal growth that is the hallmark of true strength. It's easy to pretend to be a person of good character in the short term, but consistency reveals whether those virtues are truly internalized or simply external performances. Over time, this consistency builds trust and deepens relationships. People begin to see that a man's actions align with his words, and his character becomes more predictable and reliable. This is what fosters lasting trust and respect, qualities that are essential in all kinds of relationships. The consistency of a man's character is ultimately what allows others to rely on him and builds the foundation for meaningful, lasting connections. In sum, a man's consistency over time is one of the clearest reflections of his true character. Whether it's in personal matters, professional commitments, or in the way he interacts with others, his ability to act with integrity, day in and day out, speaks volumes about the strength of his character. By paying attention to how he behaves consistently, regardless of external circumstances, you can discern whether he truly embodies the values he espouses. A man who consistently lives by his principles is a man who can be trusted, relied upon, and respected, and that consistency is the ultimate testament to his enduring character. In the end, a man's true character is not defined by his appearance or the things he says. It is shaped by his actions and how he responds to the challenges life throws his way. His ability to take responsibility, treat others with respect, handle criticism, and demonstrate consistency over time all reveal the depth of his integrity. These are the traits that reflect his inner strength, resilience, and commitment to growth. As the Stoics remind us, character is not about achieving perfection, but about continually striving for self-mastery and improvement. By observing these key signs, you can gain a clearer, deeper understanding of the men around you and see their true nature. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What qualities do you look for in a man's character? We'd love to hear from you. Stay stoic and take care.